So do you two have anything to say to Taylor at this current moment in time in this space?
Actually, we do. Hold on.
Do you have a written apology?
Shh.
Oh.
Shh. Be quiet. Taylor, we are so sorry. I don't know what came over me when I decided to punch you in the face. Nikki, I don't know what happened when you decided to kick her so hard in the uterus that it absolutely shattered not just her bone, but her soul.
She can't have kids.
Yeah. You know, I don't want kids of myself, but I feel like as a woman, and I do have the gift of birth and life, I am willing to have children for you, to pay for my sins and what I did.
And that's the biggest apology I've ever received.
Yeah.
The biggest apology, do you mean best?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Taylor,
So
please.
all is forgiven.
Okay.
We're
Thank
so
you.
glad that you were finally able to come back into the country.
Yeah.
You
Huge.
know, we figured that an even 2 weeks was enough time to really think about what we've done and
Squash the beef.
and squash our beef.
Do we have beef?
Do we have beef?
No.
Okay.
It's over now. My pelvic region is good. My nose is better.
Good to
We're
hear.
good.
Good to
We're
hear.
good.
And I'm so glad that you've healed and that we can
be reunited.
be reunited.
Awesome. Roll the intro music.
And we're back. So we did a thing.
We're so back.
This is so weird to have everyone
It's so
and
weird.
even filming back at our kitchen table.
Yeah. I think
No longer on the couch.
No longer on the couch.
being in like my normal everyday routine is feeling especially weird. Being back here is especially weird, and filming this here, right here, right now is freaky deaky.
Well, do you want to explain why everything's feeling a little freaky deaky for the two of you?
Yeah.
Is it because I kicked Taylor in the uterus?
Yeah.
And why you had to flee.
Tensions
Where
are
you
high.
fled to.
Oh, Joe, do you want to go first?
Yes.
I did write yours
so,
down first.
I was in Italy and Greece for it was
Mamma mia.
Yeah.
Literally for both.
I was having my Mamma Mia moment, literally.
You're having a baby?
I'm having a baby.
With
None
3
of
different
your
men?
business.
So I went to Italy and Greece with my sister. We went on an EF trip. We went to Rome, down the Amalfi Coast, and then to Athens and Naxos. And I feel like it's so wild. I don't want to be like an insufferable person. That person who like comes back from being abroad and is like, oh my God, everything is different. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't think I had like a real time there. Like everything that happened to me was like, I couldn't like make any of this shit up. The second we land, Sophie, sorry Sophie, Sophie overheated and threw up everywhere. The plane, the bus back. I mean, I looked to my side. We were driving through Rome, and it was just like the cobblestone streets where it's like bum, 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 bum. And I look over, and she has thrown up all
On
over
herself.
Down, it's going down her shirt, and she looks at me and she goes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Mommy, I threw up.
She literally thinks she's like, I'm sorry. And I was literally like, thank God she had a plastic bag from something that she purchased in the airport. I was about to like open my wallet and give it to her. Like I had nothing. I was like looking for my hoodie with the hood.
So
like,
she had a plastic bag and she chose to throw up on herself?
It was in her bag. Like it was in her backpack.
I'm holding it in.
Well,
that happened one time.
She threw up into a bag. I didn't even say the worst part. It was a bag of popcorn or chips that were filled to the brim.
I had gotten so scared one time. We went out with Maria, and Maria had too much to drink and was throwing up at the restaurant, and we had to Uber to get back here. And I'm like, she's going to puke in the Uber. I don't know where to put it. So I clean out Maria's, not mine. I clean out Maria's purse. I take out all of her objects and put them into my purse, and I go, here you go, queen.
And that was the one and only time she had brought a purse.
Wow.
She did go forward to throwing up on that bag, in that bag on your birthday, though.
Yeah.
So that bag did eventually meet its match.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that she had a purse. I can never look at a bag of popcorners again. I
my
would never
God.
eat a single popcorner chip again. We get to the hostel, and they're not going to have the rooms ready for another 4 hours.
Yep.
Sophie did go ahead and lay down on the ground for 3 hours. There was like a little yard in the back, and she literally fucking laid down and slept on the floor. I was so stressed. I was running on no sleep, no food. It was hot, humid, no breeze. Got my period. I was like, I just need to pee, and I'll like collect my thoughts. I'm like, why do I feel like kind of
Damp.
Gross.
no, like not sick, but like why do I have like cramp? I mean, I was like, oh God, I don't feel good. Not me too. Not me too. Got my period. It was we all slept naked. It was horrible. The hostel had no AC. The rooms were hotter inside than it was outside at night. We were quite literally all walking around the room naked. It was horrible. Rome was beautiful, but so we were starting the trip on a low note.
You can only go up from there.
I started my trip on a low note. We went to Sorrento, Amalfi, Positano, and Capri. It was great.
I love Sorrento.
Were you in Sorrento? Yeah? When did you go to Sorrento?
I didn't know you went to Italy.
Yeah, in 2016 in high school.
Yeah, no, Sorrento, it was beautiful. We stayed in Sorrento. And Amalfi was beautiful. I was on like a little boat going around Amalfi and Capri for 2 days, and I was listening to the Call Me by Your Name soundtrack, and
Oh, Hallelujah Junction.
I think like I honestly peaked at that moment in time. This is so stupid, but like that's by where like my grandparents are from, and I feel like when you kind of go to areas in the world where like your family is from, something inside you is just like so nice. And Capri was, I know some people say Capri. I'm gonna be an American.
Grow up.
Who says Capri?
Capri.
Italians, Europeans.
Capri.
That's what they call Capri
Capri.
Suns in
Capri
Europe.
Capri Sun.
They say that.
I could fuck
Caprese
up
salad.
like
A
10
Capri
Capri Suns
Sun.
right now.
Strawberry kiwi.
Yeah, fruit
Those
punch.
and like some pretzel sticks after school used to kind of
yeah.
go so incredibly hard. Or goldfish.
Where were you the first time that you realized Capri Sun was clear on the inside?
Okay, that was going to be my point. Not to lose the plot, but
No.
Well, we're 8 minutes in. It's about time we lose the
Yeah.
plot.
when I remembered them being red
Yeah.
all throughout my
Are you thinking
childhood.
of High C? Isn't High C red?
Is it red or like?
Well, like you know the boxed fruit punch, not Capri Sun, the boxed fruit punch.
That's high C.
High C,
the,
yeah.
the yellow
Yeah.
box. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was like a yellow orange.
So we had them in Puerto Rico because that was the only like drink that they had, and we squeezed it.
They
into,
only had high seas in Puerto Rico.
And it was clear?
No, like, and it was clear. And my mom was like, I vividly remember these being red when you were kids.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because if you
The
get
Red
a
Dye
High
40.
C, Red Dye 40, if you
Yeah.
get High C from like a fountain drink, it's red.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. Because if
And-
you go to McDonald's and you get a High
Yeah.
C, it's red.
Is it?
Well, my mom was like, when you were kids, they didn't really care about this. Now they care. She's like, you had all the red dye, 40, whatever.
My aunt cared because it made my cousin Jake really hyper. He couldn't have it when he was a kid.
He was allergic.
She was the only one.
Oh God.
But yeah, so that was where losing the plot because I vividly remember it being red.
I do too.
I do too. But yeah, I'm gonna say Capri. I'm gonna be an American.
Capri.
Yeah, it was so nice there. I didn't realize how many like gardens were there, and I knew it was gonna be pretty. Everyone says like the water's so blue, yada yada yada. We know this. It's the Mediterranean Sea and it's the Bay of Naples. Like obviously it's gonna be beautiful. There were so many like pomelo trees. I think there were trees and bushes, and so many white flowers that and my allergies were bad in Rome. But when I was on the Amalfi Coast and was in Capri, every time like a breeze like blew my way, it smelled like someone just sprayed like a little bit of perfume in my face, and it was so delightful.
Like that scene in SpongeBob.
He's running through the perfume store.
I mean, I usually don't like the smell of like heavily like fragrant flowers, but I felt like someone was like trying to get me to stay there. Like it was so nice.
Like a lotus flower.
Yeah, it was.
White Lotus.
White Lotus. So mad I didn't go to Sicily next time.
When we go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the most insane fucking bus driver. His name was, I think it was Cheerio.
Cheerio?
Cheerio.
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 Except it would be Cheerio.
Cheerio.
He was so fucking mad all the time, and we were in this huge Mercedes bus, and he was like trying to run cars off the road.
He's just trying to feel something.
It was so bad that he would like, and I was sitting in the front of the bus always because our tour director, Yorgos, an absolute king, I hope you're watching, let me and Sophie sit in the front because of Sophie's motion sickness and stuff.
Does she often get motion sickness?
Yeah, she's a Dramamine
She often gets
queen.
sickness.
She often gets
So
sickness.
is that why she was vomiting so heavily?
Yeah, it was a combination of that, and she was like really dehydrated and overheated. Once we got out of Rome, she was okay. But he was like, and I saw how fast he was going. This motherfucker was like, the lowest he went was like 80 miles an hour.
Wow.
He was like revving the engine to the point where we were almost hitting like the tiniest little cars in front of us, and he'd be just honking them, telling them to get off the road. We're on the highway. Where are they supposed to go? You're in the middle lane. There, like everyone in like on our bus at one point was like, we're just gonna start rolling over the cars. It's fine. Like I bet we're just gonna start rolling over.
Crushing every little Fiat that's in front of
I know,
us.
literally. But yeah, that was Italy. Italy was really fast paced. We didn't do like a ton of shopping and stuff because it was really busy. But Greece, I would like to take a moment to talk about Greece. I bet some fucking person's gonna come on here and like invalidate this, but I learned I'm a Greek 10.
First of all, you are a 10 in my eyes always.
You are also
So,
a New York 10.
You are,
I
yeah.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're
You
also
are
a
a New York 10, a US 10, a worldwide 10, and also a Greek 10.
A Bushwick 20.
And a New Jersey 30.
Thank you guys. The second we got to Greece, all of the men were like feral. It's so crazy because I mean, if anyone has seen Sophie, one of my sisters, the one I was traveling with, she's like an all-American looking girl. She's tall. Or
You guys are like Gigi and Bella Hadid.
oh god, we're yin and yang. She's tall, all legs, tan, blonde. She's very much like in the U.S. like what like the very like common standard of beauty is. So whenever we go somewhere, it's like growing up, it was like Sophie's so beautiful and this and that, which she is. But going to Greece and actually like getting male attention out of the group that we were in was like a huge slay for my ego. I have to say, it was.
Hell yeah.
I've never been in a situation like that where like men are so outwardly like coming up to me all the time. It was kind of crazy. At first, I thought that I was just going crazy and I was being delusional. And then there were people on my trip going like, there's a lot of guys going up to you. And I was like, it's not in my head. This is awesome. It was so slay. Athens was really, really cool. I didn't really know what to expect. I just knew it was like super old.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you see Lindsay Lohan?
that's Mykonos.
Oh, damn.
That'll be for when we island hop next year. Or is it Santorini? I don't know. But
One of the party
I think
ones.
it's Mykonos.
I think it was Mykonos.
But I just knew it was going to be really old. I'm like a history nerd, whatever, and I was excited for that. And we got to Athens, and it was like there was graffiti art everywhere. There were so many alt people, and it was surprisingly really like urban and grungy, and I loved it. It was very much like my speed, my vibe. And it reminded me a little bit of New York. And I thought it was so cool, and I was so upset that I couldn't stay longer there. So we were in Athens, and we were going to go to Naxos and then come back to Athens to fly out. So we were like walking through all of the shops and stuff, and I'm perusing. I'm doing a little shopping spree. I'm getting souvenirs for people. And we stopped by this one place. Actually, I got my t-shirt from here. And the shop owner is like so infatuated with me. Like, I thought he was joking at first. We like came in. We were in a group of 40 people, but we had free time, and it was the 4 of us who came together. It was me, Sophie, our friend Kenny from high school, and Kenny's cousin, Jessica. And we go in, and we start talking to him, and he's like older. Maybe he's like 40. He's kind of a zaddy. And his sons are working for him, and they're really cute. And we're talking to him, and he was just like, oh, you're a group of girls. Do you all know each other? Blah, blah, blah. Where are you from? He said that he used to live in New Jersey.
Interesting.
Weird flex.
Because I think we started talking about Westchester, and he was like, Westchester, I lived in New Jersey.
You think he's related to Emil?
Maybe.
Is Emil Greek?
Yes,
Yeah.
and his family's in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
I feel like they all know each other.
Does he know a Nick?
Probably.
I'll ask him.
And
I'll get him on the phone.
I don't even know how it got to this, but he was talking about the group, and he I think he had said to me, like, are you Greek? You look very Greek, which no, I don't. I don't think I do, at least.
But that's a compliment.
It is. He was asking me if I was Greek, and he said that I looked really Greek, and I was like, no. And things escalated to, I couldn't tell you how. It ended up with him kissing me several times.
Zaddy.
Oh, wow.
Zaddy.
In front of his sons.
In front of his sons. In
That's
front
crazy.
of his mouth.
Wow.
Also, like, all over my face. And it didn't feel like in any situation, if I was listening to a podcast, I'd be like, you were assaulted. You were assaulted. You were assaulted. You should have gone to the police. It didn't feel that way. Like, I wasn't uncomfortable at all. And like I said, he was kind of a zaddy, and he did that, and then he was like, do you like my sons? Like, are you gonna be here for?
Oh, ick.
Yeah. Well,
Keep it in the family.
Well, afterwards he said, I'm sorry, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, no. And then he was like, okay, how old are you? And I said 24. And he was like, okay, you are actually closer in age to my sons.
Yeah, no shit.
Well,
You're
how
a
old do you think I
father.
was? And he was saying, like, how, are you in Greece for a while, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no, I'm going to Naxos tomorrow. And he was like, okay, next time you're here, you should come by again. And, maybe you could meet my sons or something. So,
Oof.
yeah, Nick, honestly, smash. Like,
you were such a good kisser. He said, my son's gonna
he's
love
like,
you.
"Oh, my son's gonna
He's
love
testing out the
this."
goods.
He was.
Why you scream?
Scream, Taylor.
I did not like that. He's testing it out.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Didn't think it'd give you such a guttural reaction.
That's like when we were talking about kissing the Pope, and it gave me the chills.
Taylor got full body chills.
Talking about the Pope.
I can't express
Making
it
out
enough.
with the Pope.
You want to make out with Pope Francis?
Oh no.
Oh, that one AI photo where he was wearing that
The
puffy coat.
Balenciaga jacket?
Yeah, I'd fucking make out with the Pope.
I would fight. I would destroy him.
I
in
would
that.
also just make out with the Pope in general.
For the plot.
For the plot.
For the plot.
That's cool as shit.
No,
Begging you
imagine
to listen to last
old-
week's episode.
Okay.
Imagine old man. Ugh, I can't even think
You
about
can't
it.
think
Okay,
about.
moving
you
on.
Can't
Moving
think
on.
about it.
No, I think it would be cool. And I'm as Jewish as ever now. So I would love to make
This
out
is
with the
coming
Pope.
from a Jewish woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who loves Jewish boys.
Who I will say.
For the audio listener, Nikki's
Loves
wearing
Jewish
a
boys.
shirt that says, I heart Jewish boys.
But yeah,
I know y'all are out there. So hit me up.
Nick, thank you. And one of the people in the group that I was with told someone, because the next day, the bus was ablaze with talk about the fact that JoJo was kissed. I walked on the bus and everyone was like, you were kissed? I was like, what is happening right now? No one, you're telling me no one on this trip is looking for something? I wasn't, I didn't go on the trip for anything like that. But the fact that we were a group of 40 mostly single people, and it was high school, I was like, y'all aren't trying to suck and fuck? You're telling me that you are so surprised that someone here got kissed? I mean, it was everyone was weirdly very giddy. I don't know.
I would have had sex on a beach.
I would have. I was on my period, so. Oh, actually, by the time we were in Greece, I was off it. But I got such a horrific reaction to a sunscreen that I broke out all over my chest, and it ruined my chances of sucking and fucking.
Well, sucking on a beach isn't as fun as it.
No, the salt, the sand, I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to. But if I wanted to, I couldn't, because I had an absolutely horrific breakout on my chest from a sunscreen. That's what I get for being a nerd and applying SPF 100. But we went to Naxos after that, and it was so beautiful. Like, I'm not gonna talk too much about it because you can look at my Instagram, which is at JoJo St. Clair.
Not linked below because no one ever sent me their link trees to link
Okay,
in our link tree.
okay. I'll make it. Blowing up my spot.
6 months later.
Sorry.
I'm linked if you want to find me.
I will make a link tree. You can look at, it's more visual than anything really, but we got there and we were sitting on the beach and there were these like people walking around. I don't think they were attached to the beach or any resort, offering to give massages for like 20 euros. And most people said yes.
Did you get one?
I did not, because
I might have.
I had my horrific reaction.
What
so
if it was a happy ending?
Well, it was
massage?
on the
It was in
public
public.
beach.
Okay, well, good for me then.
All y'all can watch.
Would it have been as intense and sensual as my last massage that I had? Who knows? Taylor, you still need to go and get your rub down.
I know.
You gotta go.
You need to go and get your rub down.
Maybe this week.
It was everyone around me except me getting a massage, and it was 30 euros, and they were like taking off like people's tops, like it was whatever.
Sounds like a happy ending to me.
At the end of the worst part is no one had sunscreen on. It was blaring like 85 degrees. It was like an island, so it was just absolute like sun beating down on people. They were rubbing them with baby oil. Everyone was
That's a recipe for sun poisoning.
Yeah. After each one of them finished, everyone was like, God, my back is so fucked up. What did they do?
They're probably just like random freaks who like wanted to
probably
cop a feel of some random people.
I mean,
I would have signed up.
Yeah, I think I would have too.
You could.
One thing about me, I'm going to get a massage.
Well, if I didn't have my horrific reaction on my body, I would have, but I didn't want anyone to look at me, much less feel my skin. So I tapped out, and it seemed like they really fucked up everyone's necks and backs. So that was awesome that I got to miss out on that. It was also about right now, when I was on the beach, that I learned of the red mushroom cloud that was enveloping New York City.
It was yellow.
Yeah.
Well, I saw some photos where like the sun looked like a red ball of fire.
I saw that.
Sun did
Yeah,
look like a red ball of fire.
isn't that song from Top Gun?
That's
Red
good.
ball
Goodness
of
gracious,
fire.
Great balls of fire.
Okay, close enough.
Red ball of fire.
Close enough. All right, I didn't see Top Gun.
I then start.
You've never seen Top Gun?
I've never seen Top Gun.
I've
We'll
only
see
seen
either
the
of
new
them.
one.
We'll circle back to that.
Oh my god, I
Losing the plot.
I saw that movie for $3, by the way. Best $3 I've ever spent. I then start getting notifications from my news app. It was like New York City skyline apocalypse of doom.
No, you literally felt like you were in the apocalypse.
It was so
weird.
scary.
I was like, something's about to happen.
All of my friends from New York, and my family start sending me these horrifying pictures where like you can't even see the World Trade Center from the skyline. I was sitting on a beach, blue water in front of me.
Clicked your phone, threw your phone in the water, and said, "Sucks to fucking suck."
Not my problem.
Out.
I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, can't believe I missed this. And then I went back to laying down on the beach. Yeah, and we went around the day after on like a little boat cruising some like rock beaches and other islands. It was nice until we got to one rock beach near Kufonisia, however you say it. And it was literally just a rock beach. Like there was like a big rock, some sand, rocks, beach. So the boat drops us off. They actually is like kind of like floating. And they go, you have to swim to shore. but we're going to come back. We're going to go to the actual shore, dock, and pick you guys up. We're like, okay, light work. I jumped off that boat. It took me 20 minutes to swim to shore. I have never felt so out of shape in my life. I was gasping for air by the time I hit the rock beach. Everyone was looking at each other like we were about to fucking pass out. Get to the rock beach. It's hot, whatever. It's nice. The water's cool. We're all like swimming. It's in the shallow little water. It's nice. I'm taking some rocks. I'm like, these rocks are so pretty. I'm going to take some on the boat when it docks because I would love to bring some rocks back for myself and for my friends. Our tour director swims to shore. Says, boat's not docking. We're all going to have to swim back. The boat is now further out. It took me a half hour to swim back to that boat because I decided that I was going to make it my mission to bring rocks back with me.
What'd you do? Shove them in your bra?
No, I tried to. But
your pocket pussy?
No.
God's pocket?
God's purse? No, didn't use
Oh my
your
God.
God-given purse?
I did not use my flesh purse for this. No, I tried to stuff it in my bikini, but my bikini was such little fabric, and I was just breasting so boobily that it literally, like, it could not hold anything further than the flesh that was already in it. So I decided I was going to make a closed fist for both my hands.
Oh, no.
And swim close-fisted with rocks. I do not know how I made it back to that boat. And as I was approaching the boat, it started swaying side to side, and I thought we were going to capsize.
Do you think you were pregnant? Sorry, I just kind of said that with absolutely no context. Whoops.
Oops.
We'll be cutting that out.
Due to the fact that I did get my period on the trip, I
can explain if you don't want to cut it out. Because it's a funny story.
Okay, we can side note a little bit.
Yeah.
Sidebar. Well, I guess the story behind that is when I went to Europe last summer. I went to Ireland and we went on a boat tour to see the Cliffs of Moher. And I had a little fun, prior. And I was still waiting to get my period from having such fun. So I had gotten seasick on the boat because it was so rocky. And I had never gotten seasick before. So I had convinced myself that I couldn't possibly be seasick because it's never happened to me before. I was pregnant. I was getting my period the next week. Only logical. I was getting my period the next week. I was like, I'm not going to get it next week. Should I buy a test now? Should I ruin the trip for me now?
On this boat?
On this boat.
On this boat.
On this boat, as
With
God
your
is my
grandmother
witness,
and
with
brother.
my grandmother and brother, I'm having a baby. No one here knows I'm pregnant.
Like, where were you when Meghan texted you and told you that she was pregnant on the boat in Ireland? I was probably at work.
Yeah.
No, the thing was, I wasn't getting motion sick because the boat almost capsized as I was swimming up to it.
Or you could have been pregnant.
Or I could have been pregnant on it.
Can't count it out.
Maybe I'm pregnant right now. I haven't got my period since I came back.
Can't
True.
count
You
it
and
out.
Nick's child.
Me and Nick.
That kiss was pretty insane.
Yeah. So when we got back later that night, my body was just swaying so bad.
So bad.
So bad.
I had the spins so bad.
But did you have a mansion, a jacuzzi, a theater to watch your movies?
Or were you pregnant?
Both can be true.
I think, the only logical is that you're pregnant right now.
I'm going to name my baby, and I've always said that. But yeah, it was so bad, and it was our last night on the island, and all of us had the spins, and it was our last time to go out with our tour director and everyone in the group, and we couldn't. I went to bed, and I was laying horizontal in bed, and I closed my eyes. It felt like someone was
Like you were drunk.
yes.
You had the drunk spins.
It was so bad. I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't want to monopolize the time, but yeah. So it was a 5-hour ferry to and from Naxos, which was rough.
And you were there for like one day or
2 days.
Oh, okay. It's not
2
bad.
days. And we had a Greek night in Athens, and on the bus ride back, Yorgos, an absolute king, played ABBA songs. And we sang, Mamma Mia, Dancing Queen, Gimme, 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 A Man After Midnight. Oh my God. That went so hard. And for the most part, like most of the people on the trip were actually really, really nice and friendly and like normal people.
That's good.
I thought it was going to be littered with freaks. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people were so nice and so friendly and funny. Actually, on the plane going to and from JFK, we met 2 other people. They were a couple, Ethan and Maddie. And they were so nice. They were from Philly. And
Water.
sorry. Sorry, guys. Nikki would love them.
Boo!
Ethan actually has a podcast, and he did shout out the And I've Always Said That podcast on his. So y'all should go check it out. It's called Breezy Bird Podcast. He went so fucking hard at Greek night. He's not Greek. He was so gone that the women who were like organizing the traditional dance pulled him out of the crowd, dressed him up in Greek attire.
Oh my God. Like a toga?
No, like traditional Greek like dancing.
What is this,
clothes.
a frat?
Well, isn't that like Greek? Oh, that's Roman, I guess. More so Roman.
That's more like Socrates, but
Yeah.
Little Caesar?
So what was he?
no, it was like
Traditional Greek, like it's like black pants and like
yeah.
Oh.
It's
a
like
little
when-
like sarong.
when-
I was imagining like a
Sarong?
toga and like a
no, it's
No.
like when like
A thing? What are
Eastern
those?
Europe countries like have
Like
like
Ivy?
traditional dances and they're dressed in like
like my big fat Greek wedding.
yes,
Yeah.
no, exactly.
They're making a third one of those.
yes, I'm so
did see
excited. And
With John Corbett.
yes, we're really getting our fill of John Corbett lately.
Mm.
Love him. My mom's obsessed with him. She says that his hair reminds her of my dad's hair.
Danny.
Oh, Danny.
Oh, Danny.
But yeah, and after everyone broke plates, they made all of the men sweep them up. And and Ethan was just so happily dusting everything on the floor. He was so happy to be Greek for a day. But yeah, and then on the ride back from Naxos to Athens, some girls were like, I kind of want tattoos. I didn't have any tattoos. I love tattoos. I love like the vibe. I'm attracted to people with tattoos.
I was gonna say, do you love a good man with a
I
tattoo?
do. Oh my God, man with piercings, tattoos, all for it. And so many people have said to me before that they were surprised that I didn't have any tattoos. Cause
You do have a vibe of someone who has a
yeah.
tattoo.
And I always just said like I want tattoos, but I just don't know what I like enough to have on my body. And when we were in Greece, it was the Mediterranean. Everything was like Evil Eye, and I thought to myself, oh, I don't have to really buy anything for myself for Evil Eye because I already have stuff. And I didn't realize how much like I'm half Sicilian, and we very much so believe in that in my household.
Italian queen.
Italian queen. My birthright's going to be going to Sicily. But by that night, I had a tattoo. And it's of the evil eye. And
She's
it's on my ankle.
yatted.
And honestly, guys, I know you have a tattoo, Megan. But it so didn't hurt that when it was happening, I was like, uh-oh.
Might
Kinda
have to get
want
more.
It doesn't hurt that bad I got mine like 4 years ago. I remember you just kind of feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's nothing, like I thought they were going to put the needle on to do the tattoo and I was going to be like, stop, we're done. I'm going home.
It felt like when someone drags a mechanical pencil like across your skin.
I don't know what that feels like, but maybe.
If you've ever tweezed like a bunch of hairs at once, like one after another, where it's kind of like snapping back at your skin a little bit, it feels like that. I mean,
Yeah.
mine was small, but
Mine's also small.
yeah.
Yesterday I said that I wanted to get a tattoo at our family barbecue, and my father and my uncle went, you will not be doing that.
But you know what though, and I'll say this for free. I feel like everyone's parents say that. Like my mom is so anti-tattoos. My dad has tattoos, but he didn't want us getting them, and she always said to me growing up, "Get them. I'll disown you. I'll disown you. I'll disown you." She just didn't want us to have them. Not her vibe. She texted me, so I heard you have a tattoo. Yes. I don't even live at home anymore.
I was
Why
just
am
gonna
scared?
say, like, what's she gonna do? Kick you
me
out?
out?
You don't live at home anymore.
And then
Guess
she just
what? They talk a big game.
Oh,
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
They just, and they're like,
She's also
"You
gonna
did
forget
it?"
about it.
She's literally gonna
It's
forget
on your
about it.
ankle. Like,
She-
she's not gonna see it.
She went, I'm not mad.
You're always wearing socks anyways.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. She went, I'm not mad. Cool.
For me, my parents were more mad about the nose ring than the tattoo. But I
My-
did get the
yeah.
nose ring first, so.
My mom was really upset when I got my belly button pierced. She was really upset. But what are you gonna do about it?
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just
for my
disappointed
dad.
in you.
And then I cried, and then he felt bad.
When
And
I
then he
showed my
apologized.
dad the tattoo at the airport when he picked us up, he looked at me and went, "But that's not real." He kept saying that. He was like, "But that's not real." And I was like, "Why do you think I got a temporary tattoo in Athens?"
My dad did that about my nose ring. He was like, the audio listener just getting real close to my face, squinting. He made me like look up like this to like see up my nose. He I think he convinced himself that it was fake for a while. But
Yeah.
I was also like, you're gonna forget that this, like, you're not. You're a man. You don't pay attention to things like that. You're gonna get over it. Like
Every few months for my dad. So when'd you get that?
yeah, yep,
I've had this for almost 6 years.
yeah,
No, you haven't.
yep.
I guess
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be cool to get my first tattoo in Athens. I'm really happy I did. Thinking maybe it could be like a vacation thing for me too, where I like my souvenir for myself is like collect a tattoo where I go. But yeah, that was my first.
Okay, so we are 40 minutes into the episode, so
Sorry,
I will
guys.
keep this very short and sweet. I did go away around the same time as JoJo. We are incapable of being apart for too long, so we had to go on vacation at the same time.
And it was bad. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How
I
I
mean,
missed you so.
Yes, mine wasn't necessarily a vacation, a journey for all of my fellow birthright listeners. I went on my birthright trip to Israel, which was a really, really, to be vulnerable, truly life-changing experience, and something that I didn't realize would have like such an impact on my life, like going into it, because for those of you who don't know, it's like a free trip. The like a bunch of like, you know, groups in Israel like fundraise so that they can take like anyone living in America who's Jewish to a 10-day trip in Israel, just to like experience the country and like connect with your heritage and, you know, like that kind of thing. So for anyone who knows me, like, you know that I have always been like Jewish. I have never really like participated in organized religion other than like having a bat mitzvah. I grew up like me and my brother grew up the only Jewish people in our town. And even in college, like we had one Jewish person in like our circle, but we're not friends with her anymore. So basically like I haven't really had like a Jewish community growing up. So like being on the trip was just like a really crazy thing because I was introduced to this Jewish community that I had never had before. The age group was like 22 to 26, so everyone was our age. And like, I actually haven't debriefed any of the trip with the girls yet, so a lot of this
news to
a lot of this is like kind of news
ears
because
are open.
because I just came home and like first of all laughed and mostly just sobbed through the entire trip because it was just like so intense. But like I came home and I was like, I just can't even like talk about this with anyone yet because it was just like such intense emotions. So this is kind of the first time I'm speaking about it. So forgive me if I tear up a little bit. This is also the first day that my voice is like normal. I came my last day and like the days I came back like 3 days ago, no voice, like couldn't speak. So my throat was a little.
Did you sound like Candace when she had the parsnips and Phineas and Ferb?
She had the parsnips.
I don't recall. Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that. So, let's see. Basic like overview. We started in the north, in like a city-ish called Svat. And we spent 3 days there. We did like a ton of hiking. Like it's way less, more like city-like up there with what we did. And then we had like 39 people in our group. And I should tell the story about the girl who got kicked out, because she also became a running joke in the group. It was so funny. So like I said, free trip to Israel. There's really like no way that they can technically prove that you're Jewish. I think like you just have to like answer a bunch of questions when you're like applying. So we get a couple days before the trip, we get added in a WhatsApp group, and everyone starts like introducing themselves. And this girl Nina, she goes like, "Hey guys, my name's Nina. I'm from Colorado. I'm blah, 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 blah. Like, I love this, and I'm a Jesus lover." And I immediately send a screenshot, send it to the girls, and I'm like, guys, like, what the fuck? Like, you know, they say Jesus was a Jew or whatever, but, like, no Jewish person would ever be like, oh, I love Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, that's
a strictly Christian
exactly,
thing to say.
exactly.
Yeah. Unless it was a joke.
Yeah, it's very, like, Hobby Lobby coded.
Well, she blew up her spot. She blew up her spot.
So, like, this girl literally had one thing to not say. You made it all the way this far. If you truly were not Jewish, you made it all the way to, like, literally 3 days before the trip, and she got kicked off. I found out when we got to the airport, and I started talking to some girls, and they were like, did you see that message in the WhatsApp? And they had told me she got kicked off, which is, like, just so insane. So there were... it was just, oh my God, that was absolutely...
I mean, as she should, because...
Oh, for sure.
You know, yes, it's a free trip and everything, but you're going because, A, you are Jewish, and B, you're trying to connect with that part of you. So if you are openly one of those annoying Christians, just can't shut up about loving Jesus.
Like,
exactly.
You couldn't shut up about Jesus for a whole week.
You had one
She
thing...
Made it there. Yeah. She didn't make it there.
You literally had one thing to not say, to go on a free trip to Israel, and you said it. Idiot. Anyways.
Well, when you sent it, I was like, that seems wrong.
Yeah, like a crazy thing to say. Yeah. So, anyways, so there were 39 of us, and then a couple days in the trip, we had some Israelis join the trip, and it was for like, you know, like cultural immersion. We had like, we're able to have some really great, like, deeper discussions about just like, you know, growing up in Israel versus growing up in the US and just everything like that, but also like go fucking hard and party together. So there were 8 of them. There were 5 guys and 3 girls that joined the trip, and that was really cool. I was kind of like going into it, I was thinking that maybe it was gonna be a little bit like preachy, be like, move to Israel, join the army, live here now, like, and even like a little bit religious, but it was not in like the slightest bit. All of the Israelis were very much like, I am not religious at all, like, we love Israel, like, you know, there was nothing like really religious about the trip. Like, the birthright people just want you to like love Israel and have like a good experience. So that was really like refreshing to have that moment where I was like, like here in Israel, like Judaism isn't just about organized religion. And like growing up, and I feel like especially in the US, like they just preach like going to services, like, you know, giving money, like donating, you know, to your church or whatever. Like, it's very much like like on paper, you know, but it's not like focused on like being a good person or like learning about, or like being involved in like community, and like just having that moment where my whole life I just thought that like being Jewish was just showing up and like going to services and praying, and being like, these people are all Jewish, but like none of them are religious. Like, it was just a crazy moment for me. So that was really cool. And so we started there, and then we drove down to Jerusalem, and we spent 3 days there. And Jerusalem was fucking awesome. Like, I think, you know, most people when they think of Israel, they're like, oh, Tel Aviv, like crazy city, gay capital of the world. Especially for me, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to be so gay in Tel Aviv.
So gay in
I'm
Tel
about
Aviv.
to so gay in Tel Aviv.
Happy Pride Month, by the way.
Happy Pride Month. Oh, thanks, guys. But I actually love Jerusalem the most. It was
it's beautiful there.
so beautiful. Like, it was just like an incredible moment. So there's this place called it's like the holiest site in the country called the Western Wall, and I don't really know like the specifics of what it is, but anyways, it's like one of like the original walls in like a temple or something, and you can go up to it, and you put a note like inside the cracks of the, you know, and people are supposed to like touch it and like literally just start crying. Like, it's a very like emotional reaction for some people. Like, a lot of the people on the trip were experiencing that, like, you know. So again, not a religious person, have never been. So I see like all these people going up, you know, people have like their heads in like prayer, and, you know, they're crying. I go up and touch the wall. Immediately a bird shits on my head.
Good luck.
Yeah.
No, it's not good luck. I looked it up. It's good luck. They say it's good luck because they don't want people to feel bad. I cannot express how like I was watching people sob hysterically. You know, people are praying for their sick family members and like all of this stuff. I touched the wall immediately. Bird shit on my head starts running down my forehead. So I'm like full on having a freak attack. I'm like, this is not
and
happening.
And you're such like a germaphobe, so
Yeah.
like, a normal person would freak out. I can't even imagine where your mind was at.
Yeah. So
God,
I
you were
was
probably a menace.
I was like so upset. I was like, you know, this could have been my like religious awakening, like
Finding God.
Finding God. Turns out he's not real. God ain't real, guys.
A bird shit on my head. God ain't real.
God is not
When you go
real.
to the Holy Land just to find out that God's not real.
God is not real. So
Losing God in Jerusalem.
I literally,
Title of the episode.
yes, I went ahead and made it everyone's issue. I was like, guys, I'm pissed off. Like, everyone's coming because they separate the women and the men's side of this wall. So I'm like, you know, I see the girls, I complain, whatever. I'm reunited with the guys. I'm like, you'll never believe what happened. All of them are sobbing. I'm like, you will never believe what just happened
Their
to
eyes
me.
are puffy.
Yeah, I'm like, you are not allowed to be sad right now.
They're like, you found God too? No, I was shit on.
No, I was shit on by God. So, yeah.
God
so,
had the last laugh with you.
Yeah.
And God did.
And he did. So, so that it was actually just a really cool experience though, because we went on, no, I don't need to go. Okay. Anyways, spending too much time on the little things. So, we had a couple nights out, but the one night that we had out on the weekend was in Jerusalem. It was Saturday night, and in Judaism, we practice like we observe Shabbat, which is like Friday night. At sundown, like, you have, you know, Shabbat dinner, which I will be hosting for all of us. Get ready. It's going to be awesome.
So excited.
And you have, like, dinner with your family or whatever, and then you don't use any, like, technology. You turn your phone off. You don't use electricity. You don't drive.
Is that what I've seen, like, on TikTok? People have, like, these light covers and stuff that, like, when you can't use electricity, it's something so that like they do it in the fridge, so when you open the fridge it doesn't turn the light on and stuff like that.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Have you
I've
ever seen
seen it.
Miriam on TikTok?
Yes. Oh my God, I love her.
I love her.
She's
love
so
Miriam.
cute.
She shares all of her little hacks and stuff for
Yeah.
Shabbat.
You can, like,
in
follow
terms of like
Yeah.
I'll
light.
send you the profile.
Yeah.
Well,
Or Melinda Strauss. I think that's the other one.
Oh, I've never.
I like Miriam better.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's, like, you know, a bunch of that kind of stuff, because I don't observe Shabbat, but I actually found out that they put elevators in Israel on like Shabbat mode so that you don't have to touch the button. It'll just stop at every floor.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
Hope you're not in a rush.
Yes. So we had our night out in Jerusalem, So Friday night, you don't do anything. We had to walk home from Shabbat dinner to our hostel, and then Saturday we just like chilled out. We walked to a park. We like all spent some time together outside, and then Saturday night at sundown when Shabbat's over, you just go fucking crazy. So we went to forgive my pronunciation if any of my Israelis are listening to this, Meghan Yehuda Market. And in the daytime, we went in the daytime before, and it's like a big like outdoor and indoor market with like produce and food and like little shopping and whatever. It's like Chelsea Market on like crack.
Yeah.
And it was so packed. It was crazy. But then when you go at night, it's like all of the food places are shut down and all of like the little like bars and stuff are open. So it's like little tiny like bars. And then you just kind of like hop around. It's kind of hard to explain.
Like a flea market of bars?
Kind of, yeah. It's like, imagine like Chelsea Market, but like
A club.
yeah, but
Crack
like half of
cocaine.
it's closed, and then like people just are overflowing in the parts that are open, and it's just like
It was
really
indoors or was outside?
It's both.
Oh, okay.
It's both. So that was just really fun, and it was like our first big night out because it was like the weekend, and it was our first night out with the Israelis, and like it was just so much fun. And this is where I did have my love affair, my brief love affair.
Okay.
So what questions do you have for me about my brief love affair on Birthright?
Like, what do you have to tell me about it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll save it all for the debrief, but you know, going into it, and when I was talking to all of my friends on Birthright, it seems all of us did have the same thing in mind, is who's gonna be my Birthright crush.
Yeah.
But
you gotta have one when you go
yeah.
on vacation. You
Well,
need a vacation.
apparently
crush.
everyone is sucking and fucking on these trips.
Yeah.
I mean, strep throat went around like crazy.
Kiss of death.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was wild. Again, not airing out anyone's dirty
Were
laundry
you
on the
friends
pod.
with Sophie at FIT?
I was friends with her because of you.
Well, she went on it and she's
Mhm.
like, oh my god, it's the hottest Jewish hookup spot in the entire world.
And I will say she is right.
That's her voice, by the way. I'm not
Uh,
making fun of her.
Oh, I have met her. The world's slowest talker.
Aww.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. I understand dating shows now where they're like having one conversation with someone and it changes everything, and you either like them or you really like them, and you're also with them every single day doing every single thing, and you know, like time in Birthright is different than time in the real world. Like, I get it. Like, I feel like I was literally on a dating show because
You were
fun
on
fact,
Birthright time.
because fun fact, Birthright started out as a matchmaking
Really?
organization.
I believe that.
Wow.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yeah. So, and obviously, you know, they weren't really doing, and they didn't need to do any of that. It happened naturally. They put us in our bathing suits. They took us to the beach. We were all in very close quarters. We stayed in a fucking tent together.
Damn.
Like, yes.
Did you pee in the sea?
No, I didn't pee in the sea.
Damn it, I want to know if it hurt.
Okay, can I get there?
Yeah.
Because that was the last day, so you're jumping forward.
I'm sorry, you
Anyways.
mentioned swimming and I remembered
Wait, I
peeing in
Yes,
the
I
sea.
know.
And what answers do you have about the love affair that we can talk
Okay.
about here?
He was an IDF soldier.
Oh, God, it's so hot.
And he says he has a lot of family that lives in Westchester, Rockland County. That's Westchester, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's
Rockland
Westchester,
County.
So it's New York City.
I think it was Rockland County.
New York City, Westchester County, Rockland County.
Okay.
Rockland County is where one of our Jewish friends from FIT is from.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Jewish people in both Westchester and Rockland.
Yeah, so he had lived there for like 14 years of his life.
Wow.
So, and they all spoke like really like good English. You know, they were teaching us a lot of Hebrew, which was fun. I was being an absolute menace trying to get them to teach me things.
Aw.
But yeah, so he had visited the city a lot. Like, you know, we were able to like talk about that a lot, which is nice. And you know, maybe he hates me, maybe he doesn't.
I doubt
but
he hates you.
Yeah.
if he ever comes back to New York, I feel like maybe he'll reach out.
Feeling
So,
like-
we'll see.
You guys will see each other again.
Yeah.
Manifesting it here.
Yeah.
I'm feeling something from my womanly intuition.
Yeah, we're
that
doing. This is
you're
a
gonna-
big
He visits the city a lot, so we'll see.
manifestation space. This is our last summer, so
It is our last
I'm
summer.
getting married in 2 years.
Their last
It is
summer.
our last
Don't even
summer.
bring that up, Megan.
Sorry, I know it's a sensitive subject for you. Me getting married in 2 years.
Yeah. So after, I feel like that's probably it for highlights in Jerusalem. But then we went to Tel Aviv. We didn't spend that much time in Tel Aviv, but honestly, like I said, I felt way more of a connection with Jerusalem anyways. Tel Aviv felt like Miami.
That's what I've heard.
Weird ass vibes.
I've heard that Tel Aviv has like Miami vibes.
We drove in at sunset and it's just like palm trees and like boardwalks and it was super humid. So, yeah. And then we, from there we drove to the desert, the Negev desert.
The end I've always said that desert?
Yes. And then we, so we stayed in a Bedouin tent. And
You went camping?
yes.
Did you stay in the tent with the IDF soldier?
No. Oh, sorry. No. So they had left at this point.
Sad.
They left before Tel Aviv. They were with us in Svat and in Jerusalem, and then before we drove to Tel Aviv, they
Feeling
were
sad.
Yeah. So we went and we stayed in a Bedouin tent in the desert, and I'll show you guys the video. You're gonna fucking laugh your ass off at the fact that this is a place where I stayed in. So it was just this giant tent, and we each get a little tiny mattress and a sleeping bag, and that's it. And no one told me that we didn't have pillows or like anything.
No pillows?
So they also didn't no, I can't get into that. For the debrief.
Okay.
I'm just trying not to call anyone out here.
Okay.
So, I also forgot to say I was averaging about 2.5 to 3 hours of sleep every single night.
Yeah.
Because we were eating breakfast at like 7:30, starting the day at like 8:30, finishing the day at 10:30, and then all like just drinking, hanging out together until like 1 or 2. Going to bed at 3, doing it all again. So, which you guys can say is very unlike me.
Yeah.
Very unlike you.
Hence why I didn't have a voice for about a week. So we stayed in the desert, and that was crazy because like I've never even been to the desert in the US. I didn't really know what to expect. Never been to Coachella, never been to Arizona. So that was really, really cool experience. And then we did we climbed Masada, which is like a old fortress or something of like an ancient, I don't know, like I really didn't pay attention as much as I could. It was fucking hot in the desert. But
feels like the desert in this room right now.
yes, it literally does.
Feeling
like I'm back in Israel.
She's bringing Israel to New York
I
now.
literally am. So it was so funny because I was literally in the desert and I was like, oh, my stomach feels kind of weird. Like maybe it's just the elevation. It's the highest point in Israel. Mm-hmm. So I was like, maybe
Maybe you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were having my Rome moment.
Yes. So I was like kind of, whatever. So then you climb, well, you don't have to, but like we climbed up the desert, and then there's like a cable car that'll take you down so you don't have to climb down. So when we get to the bottom of the mountain and, there's like places to eat or whatever, I go to the bathroom and I said, God waited until the absolute fucking desert to give me my period.
Oh, you guys synced.
I was in a Bedouin tent.
No, we
getting
didn't. We
maybe
didn't
kind
sync.
of.
Well, maybe we synced a
A little bit, maybe.
A little bit.
But
we were both scared abroad.
Yeah.
Getting our periods at the worst possible time.
It was so funny because another girl that I was with, she was like, God waited until the literal Bedouin tent to give me, no, it wasn't her period. I think it was diarrhea.
Oh, that's
sorry,
worse.
girly. She goes,
Slowing up your spot.
The night before, she was like, God waited until the Bedouin tents to give me diarrhea because in the tents you had to like literally hike for a bathroom.
Oh
It wasn't
yeah.
anywhere nearby. And then the next day I was like, God waited until fucking Masada, the desert, to give me my period. So that was not fun.
Our ancestors were so brave.
Really, really brave.
So brave.
Another reason why God was not it.
Yeah. So then we went from Masada, which is the highest point in Israel, to then driving to the Dead Sea, which is the lowest point on Earth? ? Yeah. Like the lowest point that you can be on land, not like the Marianas Trench,
You're not like in the sea, but it's still kind of below sea level, I
yes.
think, right?
Yeah. So like have listened to Dead Sea by the Lumineers many times. I knew that it was like salty and you would float and whatever, but guys, it is like the weirdest experience ever. Like, you kind of walk in on like all fours a little bit, and
Did you walk on water like Jesus did?
yes, I actually did. Like, it was just so crazy. Like, it felt like you had no control of your body. Everyone was like pulling on each other's legs, and like,
God.
you know, it was just like such a wild experience. And you had to swim around like a doggy paddle, like Superman basically, or like push on your back, and like, I don't know, it was just a wild experience. And then you like rub the mud on yourself, and they say, you know, they were telling us from like basically day one, don't shave like 2 days before the Dead Sea. It's gonna burn. Don't shave. Don't do it. And, you know, I obeyed, and I figured everyone else would have gotten the point by that time. So everyone starts to go in, and immediately you see people who forgot or didn't obey, and, you know, scratching, itching, like, you know, whatever certain areas were not feeling so comfortable. But what they didn't say is that, like, your whole body is basically going to burn because it's so salty.
Yeah.
And like after 10, 15 minutes, they say to get out and rinse off, and then you can get back in. The backs of my arms were on fire. I was burning so bad. Like, I just didn't.
How was your hair?
I just didn't expect
'Cause
that.
I've heard people say that like their hair got ruined going in.
I mean, I think my hair's fine. I actually like dunked it all the way in.
Yeah, I mean,
because I wanted to like float all the way back.
I've heard a lot of people say that whenever they go, they like douse their hair in leave-in conditioner so it like doesn't absorb like.
No, I mean my hair is like the crispiest, crunchiest hair that there is, and it's fine.
Okay.
I also like didn't even shower that night with like, I rinsed it out, but I didn't even like put in conditioner that night, and it was fine. So I think other people just need to grow up. But yeah, so the Dead Sea was really fucking insane. Definitely one of the highlights. What?
You didn't pee in it?
No, I didn't pee in it. But oh my
I know
God.
the burn. Did anyone pee in it? Did they say?
Well, no, but we were farting. So I made someone else fart first. And
why?
and
For the bubbles?
No, just to see if it would burn.
Because when you pee in the Dead Sea, the water somehow like
Goes
comes
inside
back in
and burns.
Because it's so salty, it burns. So
Yeah.
they say not to pee in the Red Sea.
The
Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea.
And I also
The Red
I
Sea,
got
not
a
the
drop.
The Red Sea.
I got a drop of water on my lip, and it was like misery.
Oh.
Like there were some people who got it in their eyes. People were putting mud on their face and like were rinsing it, and it was really hurting. I got one little drop of water on my lip, and I was like,
oh my God,
it
imagine
was
having
so
a
painful. No. Mm-mm.
I would have done.
But yeah, so Dead Sea was the last thing. And then, yeah, it was just like, I think I had a lot of, like I said, you know, very like profound moments, life-changing moments. But what I also just wanted to say is that like, I feel like it completely shifted the way that I make friendships and like approach romantic relationships too. Because like I said, it's not a matchmaking thing, but like I was making connections with people who I never in a million years would like even really look twice at. But because we were together every day and we like had this one thing that like was uniting like all of us, it was like just such an insane experience to like just feel like connected the way that I did to some of those people, and just kind of like change the way that I think about like who I see myself marrying, or, you know, like just who, like how I would like, you know, approach like a friendship in the future, and like kind of what it kind of like shifted like what I feel like is actually important to me, which I just wasn't expecting at all. Like, you know, people say, oh, they're going to brainwash you. Like none of it was like any sort of like being like preached at me. It was literally something that all of us were going through at the same time, especially like the girls that I was living with. We were all going through such like an insane shared experience of like not growing up Jewish, and like coming out of this being like, this was a huge part that we were missing like our entire lives. So I'm gonna start crying. I gotta. move on.
It sounds like you found like community in that.
And I've just like never had it.
And you're from a smaller town in Pennsylvania, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm not Jewish, but like I know like my grandparents raised me the first 10 years of my life, and they were very Italian, and like I, you know, like feeling connected to your ethnicity or just like having a community that you identify with provides such like structure to your being, and it's something that when you meet someone or something, even if it's someone that you're like not inherently like, oh, I'd gravitate towards you, it's something that when it comes up you're able to just
exactly
connect.
And like I
It's
literally I just never ever knew that was missing, and it was just like the coolest feeling ever to like see the shift in not only myself but like all of these people around me, seeing like, especially, you know, you go to the airport and all of these guys are like, you know, I'm not religious, it's just a free I'm not saying it was just the guys, but you know, men are a little tougher to crack.
You're not gonna crack me.
Typically, you know, like I'm not religious. This is just a free trip to Israel, and to just like all like every night, like gathering together, just having a couple drinks and like tearing up and crying about how like the day's experience was like changing us, and you know, asking each other these deeper questions about life, like, you know, and like I said, just everyone like by the end of it being like so incredibly connected and like, you know, really feeling a connection to Judaism was like just such an insane experience. So now I feel like I'm preaching, but like it was really, really fun. It had its amazing moments, but like truly like just it just I resonated with like that trip on such a deeper level, and like coming back, like nothing is the same. Like I was so excited to see you guys and to see my family and, you know, get back in my own bed, but like it is just such a weird feeling because I feel like I was away for like so much longer than 10 days, and it's kind of weird just coming back and feeling like I have to fucking go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, didn't work for me.
And just like assimilate back into normal life as if like fundamentally everything about me is different. So it's just like crazy experience. But what's amazing is that like we're already planning a couple like reunions throughout the summer. There's like quite a few people from our group that live in like Long Island and Baltimore, and like so they're not too far. And we also started a separate Birthright book club chat, which will be fun, where we're gonna like, you know, read some other like more spiritual books together, which I'm super excited about. And just like, you know, like I said, I just like have 40 Jews across the country that like I'm gonna have in my life forever, and it's just the coolest fucking thing ever. So sorry to like nerd out about religion and spirituality, but I've just never had this in my life before, and it just feels like the trip answered a lot of those big questions that you guys know that I struggle a lot with. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We're so happy you had a good time.
Thanks, guys. Y'all like my shirt?
Yeah.
Are you on J-Date?
Well,
Are you reactivating your J-Date?
I will never be reactivating J-Date. That is a cursed website.
Aww.
But I will say,
you should get a matchmaker.
I want to. Oh my god, I want to be on
Jewish Matchmaker.
I want to be on Jewish Matchmaker so bad, but I literally like. I like can't ever marry someone who's not Jewish now.
That's so
like
wild.
I'm so real. Like it would things I will not be saying on the pod, but like they don't, like non-Jewish guys, they don't hit the same. Like I don't know what it is. It's like
you found community. Like it's like growing up. My family was always like, you're gonna marry an Italian, right?
Yeah.
It's like it just might.
I always said like I want a Christmas tree, you know, like, and I also went to Catholic school for a couple years, like, you know, but now I'm like, there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell. Which is like, who would have saw that coming?
Yeah, but you know what? That's an amazing thing to realize earlier in your life too, because like so many people don't get to that point.
Yes.
Just on their own, not even going on birthright. They don't get to that point till later in life, and at that point you feel like you've trial and errored, like wasting so much time. So it's a really like awesome thing to to know that that's what you want earlier in your life. Now you just cut out so much
time,
so much
exactly.
time.
Just going into things and being like, why isn't it working?
Exactly.
Meanwhile, that was why.
Exactly.
Like what the deeper meaning you're looking for is.
Exactly.
Which like I said, a lot of people don't figure out till way later in their life. So that's great.
It was just like, I mean, like I said, like fundamentally I just feel like a totally different person. I feel like I just am able to look at things just completely differently, and like I'm just so happy that everyone else like felt that way as well, and that we were able to just like, you know, bond about that, because no one like said anything about that going into the trip. They were like, you get to see Israel for the first time and it's so beautiful and we're gonna have so much fun and whatever, but like they didn't say like let us know if you need a fucking therapist, because holy shit, it was just like a lot of tears, a lot of happy tears. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of all I have to say. Shout out to all the birthright people still listening. If you made it this far, I love y'all so fucking much. And I think that's it. I'm fucking roasting, so can we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, make sure to rate us 5 stars. If you're listening on Apple Music or Spotify, all our accounts and such are linked below. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And we'll see you next time. Love you all very much.
Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.